How to create unbreakable goals for an unforgettable 2024. I'm Dr. Michael Lee here, and thank you so much for joining me. Particularly if you have a business, or a coaching business, online, offline, whatever it may be, but you're there to help people. Because in this live video where I'm here with you today, it's only like a few days just before Christmas. I just wanted to share with you that I know now we're here and around Christmas that we're so close to the new year. We're so close to 2024. And I wanted to share with you, so many people, they set up all these like New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals. But the fact is, probably over 90% of them, they end up having failed goals. How many can relate with that? But don't worry that if you're one of those types of people, because the chances are, if you are not one of those people, it's either you're lying or it's still yet to happen. Because everyone has actually done it. Because just think about it. The amount of years you've been on this planet, you've probably set goals that you probably either didn't make or achieve, or you didn't even start. But the fact is that the key word that I wanted to actually share with you today is the word unbreakable. Unbreakable. Because when people are thinking an unbreakable goal, so that means I'm guaranteed to achieve it, right? It says, yeah, you're guaranteed to achieve it, because it comes down to creating something called a system. If you don't create a system in terms of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, that then reaches your goal, you're already creating lots of resistance for you to even get to your goal. Just think about it. If you have a goal, you have absolutely no plan, all right? And he says, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to create $1 million company. I want to help 1 million people, whatever it may be. If you don't have a system or a step-by-step process to get you there, guess what? It seems like almost an impossible goal rather than a unbreakable goal. So this is what's really important about creating unbreakable goals. The first thing is it starts with you. Because remember, for whatever goal that you create, there's only one person that can create success in your life. Who is that? You should be pointing to yourself or put me into the chat. But ultimately, there's only one person that can give you failure in your life. Who is that? It is the same person. So type me or it's me into the chat, because then I know that you're honest with yourself. Because a lot of people, they're not honest. They like to blame other people because they did that to me. That's why I didn't achieve this. Because, that happened. It was out of my control. That's why it was my result. As at the end of the day, it happens to other people too. But the fact is, they still actually achieve the result. So the question is, why does that happen? Because ultimately, people are planning. Because remember, anxiety isn't planning. Anxiety is just a fear of doing anything. Planning isn't anxiety either. Planning is actually preparing for what you're going to achieve this time next year. And I love people that plan, because you might have heard this famous saying in psychology that if you fail to prepare, then you might as well prepare to fail. So preparation is so important. It comes down to your intention. Because I'm going to be very real with you here. Every goal in the world, doesn't matter what goal it is, someone on this planet has probably achieved it. Unless you want to, I don't know, live on Mars or something like Elon Musk is working on at the moment. But someone has probably achieved it. So the question you need to ask yourself is, why not you? Why not you? Because it probably isn't even just one person's achieved it. Probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people have achieved the goal that you want. So the question is, again, why not you? What do they have that's so special that you may not have? And that's the question I wanted to ask you. Because, for example, let's say New Year resolutions is usually weight loss. Weight loss isn't difficult, right? It's a very, very simple formula, right? Exercise more calories than what you consume. Then you'll lose weight. Very simply. Yeah, there are a few little bits and pieces inside, and like food intolerances, etc. and that. But generally, that is the rule. But the question is, how come so many people fail to either exercise enough or eat the right foods? Because the fact is, no one's holding a gun to that person's head and say, look, you're not allowed to exercise today. Or so no one's holding a gun to their head and says, you must eat that Big Mac or that McDonald's or that KFC or that pizza. You must eat it. No one's doing it. It is their own choice. So put in the chat, if you understand this, just put my choice. Because whatever results you have, it's just a accumulation of your choices that you made, but also the choices that you did not make that creates your decision, that creates then the outcome. So the real question is not about what is the goal, it's about how do we make it unbreakable. And I'll give you a few steps here. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, if you're going to achieve a goal, I want you to ask the question, why? Why do you want this goal? Because remember, if your why isn't big enough, it won't happen. And usually, and what I'm going to help you here, actually, by the way, if you have any goals, if you think of a goal for the new year, put it into the chat now so I can be accountable to you as well. So put it into chat. Let me know what it is. Because the thing is, if you have a goal, I want you to then ask yourself, why do I want this goal? And to help you even further, make sure that reason is got nothing to do with you. Do you know why? Because when people just focus on themselves, generally, it's not a big enough why. But if it's got something to do with other people, then that'll be different. Right? That'll be different. Because say, for example, I want to be able to, excuse me, I want to be able to fit into my wedding dress so I will look beautiful on my wedding photos for all of my children, friends, and family to remember this amazing day. So remember, it's got nothing to do with her just fitting into a dress anymore. It's about how can she give it to the people that she loves. Because there's this famous saying in psychology is this: people will do more for the people they love than what they'll do for themselves. So if you can create something that you know serve you well, but you're doing it for someone that you love, boy, are you powerful now. Have you got the momentum and the energy to then go and do what you're supposed to do? Because remember, every journey, there's going to be difficulty. There's going to be challenges. There are going to be obstacles, because the fact is that if there were no obstacles, there were no challenges, you would have achieved it by now. But the fact is that because you haven't achieved, that's why it's a goal. That's why, you know, if you start it, expect and prepare for those challenges. And each time a challenge actually occurs, I want you to remember this. Remember your why you're doing it, and who you are doing it for. Those are the two most critical things that I want you to remember. I'm doing this because I want to achieve this, because this is your reason. And this is the person I want, or the people I want to do it for. Because once you've got those two things and you keep reminding yourself of it each and every time you hit some sort of resistance, it will empower you to keep going. Because you know, when you actually go into some sort of resistance or some sort of obstacle or challenge, it's the whole purpose of a challenge is to slow you down or stop you. Now let me ask you this question: what's more difficult, keeping going with momentum, or stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting? Like a car, like a vehicle, it takes a lot of energy to get it going, but once it's going, it will keep going. So to the end of the day, I cannot stress enough, whatever you choose to do not stop. That's why I need you to remember why you're doing it, who you're doing it for. All right? That's what's going to keep the momentum going. The next thing I was talking about, planning. Whatever goal you have, it might be a year goal, it might be a monthly goal, it may be a biannual goal, it may be a quarterly goal, whatever it may be. Always start big. Say if it's a year, say, okay, this is the year I want you to do. This is the year I want to achieve this. And then I want to break it down month by month by month by month by month. Then to week to week to week to week to week. And you're setting goals. So I'm going to give you a little secret in terms of when we're actually creating programs for Olympians. So we know Olympians have 4-year cycles, because the Olympics happens every 4 years. We do not create the cycle in this way. So it's 4 years. It's basically the program for 4 years. And we don't create the program that, okay, this is day 1, this is day 2, this is all the way to day 365, right? So that's a year. We don't do it that way. Do you know how we actually do it? We count down. So this is 4 years. Now this is 3 years and 364 days. Now this is 3 years and 363 days. But I want you to count down. If it's a yearly goal, I want you to count down rather than count up. Because you know, when you're counting down, you know you have to do what you've missed to achieve the goal when you hit down to 0. And that drives people harder, because you know, counting up, you're like, oh, I'm counting up. They don't really have the right perspective in seeing, I'm running out of time. I can leave it a little bit longer because it's counting. But if it's counting down, they always know they are running out of time, and they will push them to keep going unless they completely give up. So please make sure you create your plan. And remember, each step of the plan should help the next step. But you must look big and then plan backwards. But always remember, whenever there is an obstacle, a challenge, resistance, ask yourself, why am I doing this? And who am I doing this for? So I really hope that this is a general bit of coaching in terms of what you can do to create this, to make sure you have an unbreakable. Then get the unforgettable 2024. Do you know why it's unforgettable? Because you remember all of the challenges, all of the resistance, all of the obstacles that you broke through. Right? That's what makes you unbreakable, because you achieved it. No one did it for you. No one did all of the hard work or the heavy lifting. You did it because you planned, prepared, and then executed and kept the momentum going. So make sure that you are doing that so that you will get that unbreakable and unforgettable 2024. So I really hope that you found this live really helpful wherever you're watching.